Good morning everyone. This is Raghu, Assistant Professor of Biotechnology from SRN VGNR Government College, Khammam. So today's topic is Major Histocompatibility Complex, MHC. So generally these major histocompatibility complex are glycoproteins present on the plasma membrane of all nucleated cells and also some antigen presenting cells. So almost all cells, they have nucleus. So all the cells on their plasma membrane, they contain these glycoproteins called as major histocompatibility complex. And the antigen presenting cells like macrophages, B cells and dendritic cells, they also contain this major histocompatibility complex. They play an important role in antigen processing and presentation to T cells. So with the help of this major histocompatibility complex, the antigens or foreign particles that enter the cell, they are processed and presented to the T cells. So in the upcoming slides, we will see the types of MHC complexes and also which kind of cells contain these MHC complexes, how they will process these antigens, and which type of T cells they will present this antigen. Generally, this MHC is coded by genes which are called as HLA genes that are present on the chromosome number 6 in humans and chromosome number 17 in mice. So in mice it is called as H2 complex. In humans it is called as HLA complex, human leukocyte antigen complex. So the genes for coding these MHC are present on chromosome number 6 in humans and chromosome number 17 in mice. In humans it is called as HLA complex and in mice it is called as H2 complex. So as I mentioned, major histocompatibility complex MHC molecules are cell surface glycoproteins expressed by all nucleated cells. So all the nucleus containing cells, they contain MHC glycoproteins on their surface. So as I mentioned, they process the antigen to T cytotoxic and T helper cells. So as I mentioned, MHC molecules, there are two types, majorly three types, but two types are actively involved in the antigen presentation. So the T cells respond to the peptides only when MHC molecules present them. So activation of T cells is done when MHC molecules which are present on the cell surface of all nucleated cells and antigen presenting cells present the antigen to the T cells. So you can clearly see the T cell receptor in the diagram and the MHC molecule. So the processed peptides are presented to T cell receptor by MHC molecules. So you can clearly see peptide antigen which is processed, it is presented by MHC molecule to T cell receptor. Once it is presented to T cell receptor, then the T cells will get activated. So that is the function of MHC molecules in activation of T cells by presenting the antigenic peptides. So if you see the classes of MHC molecule, there are three classes of MHC molecule. Class 1 MHC molecules, class 2 MHC molecules and class 3 MHC molecules. Both class 1 and class 2 MHC molecules, they are involved in the antigen processing and presentation, whereas class 3 MHC molecules, they are involved in the complement activation. So in this topic, so we are seeing only the process of antigen processing and presentation. we will see in detail about the class 1 and class 2 MHC molecule. So as I mentioned, class 1 MHC molecules are present on all cells which contain the nucleus. So these class 1 MHC molecules, they process the antigen. That means the cells which contain the class 1 MHC molecule, they process the antigen, and the antigenic peptides are then submitted to CD8 receptor of cytotoxic cells. So in the diagram you can clearly see the class 1 MHC molecule, an antigenic peptide, and also a CD8 receptor. So the CD8 receptor, you can see the CD8, CD3, TCR, CD2, CD28, all these receptors are present on the T cytotoxic cells. They are also called as CTL cells, C cytotoxic T cells or T cytotoxic cells. So the CD8, CD3, CD28, CD2 toll-like receptors or TCR receptors are present on T cells. And the CD8 receptor, it will interact with the class 1 MHC molecule, which is present on the nucleated cells. So whenever there is a foreign particle that entered into the body, it is processed by the cells which contain MHC class 1 molecule, and it is presented to CD8 receptor of T cells, which are called as cytotoxic T cells. Once this antigen is presented, then the T cytotoxic cells are get activated. So the class 1 MHC molecules containing cells, all nucleated cells, they process the antigen and present it to CD8 receptor containing T cytotoxic cells. So that is class 1 MHC molecule. Whereas the class 2 MHC molecule, it is presented especially, it is present on especially antigen presenting cells like macrophages, dendritic cells, B cells, monocytes, etc. So all these are called as antigen presenting cells. They will process the antigen and present it to T helper cells. So T helper cell along with CD2, CD3, CD28 and TCR receptor, the special type of receptor that is present on T helper cells is CD4 receptor. You can clearly see toll-like receptor, CD3, CD2, CD28. These are common for CD, T cytotoxic cell and T helper cell. The only difference is T cytotoxic cells, they contain CD8 receptor, whereas T helper cells, they contain CD4 receptor. So the antigen presenting cells like monocyte, macrophages, dendritic cells and B cells, they process the antigen and present to CD4 receptor containing T lymphocyte, that is T helper cells. So all the antigen presenting cells, they will process the antigens that entered into the body, and they will present these peptides with the help of the class 2 MHC molecule on the surface to CD4 receptor T helper cell. So this is how MHC class 1 containing cells present the antigen to T cytotoxic cells, and MHC class 2 molecule containing cells like antigen presenting cells present their antigen to T helper cells. So that is class 1 and class 2 MHC molecule. So if you see the structure of class 1 MHC molecule, you can clearly see the alpha chain, which is encoded of 43 kilodalton. So a single alpha chain, which is a transmembrane alpha chain. You can clearly see a single chain. It is coming from the transmembrane region containing the loops alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3 and a intradisulfide bond. You can clearly see the peptide binding cleft. So there is a single alpha chain with 3 loops or domain structures. And you can clearly see the beta 2 microglobulin, which is a 12 kilodalton It is a non-transmembrane component that is present on the class 1 MHC. So beta 2 microglobulin is present only in class 1 MHC molecule. If you see the structure of class 2, you don't find this beta 2 microglobulin. So beta 2 microglobulin is present only in class 1 MHC molecule. So the structure contain alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 transmembrane alpha chain with intrachain disulfide bonds and a non-transmembrane component beta 2 microglobulin. So it is the alpha 3 component that interacts with the CD8 receptor of T cytotoxic cells. So the alpha 3 part of this alpha chain play an important role in antigen presentation, which contains peptide cleft. The peptide cleft is present in between alpha to alpha 3, and alpha 3 will be interacting with the CD8 co-receptor during the presentation of antigen to CD8 receptor containing T cytotoxic cells. So that is the structure of class 1 MHC molecule that contains transmembrane alpha chain and also non-transmembrane beta 2 microglobulin. So when it comes to class 2 MHC molecule, it contains alpha and beta chains. There is no micro beta 2 microglobulin as it is there in MHC class 1 molecule. So you can clearly see the alpha chain of 34 kilodalton and beta chain of 29 kilodalton. Both alpha and beta chain are anchored to the membranes. So you can clearly see both alpha and beta chain anchoring into the membrane. A peptide presentation groove or peptide cleft is present between alpha 1 and beta 1 groove. So peptide antigen is a groove formed from a pair of helices on a floor of antiparallel beta strands. So you can clearly see alpha 1, beta 1, there will be peptide binding site. So this kind of class 2 MHC molecule, it is present on the antigen presenting cells as I mentioned earlier. So they process the antigen and present to class 2 MHC. It will process antigens and present to CD4 receptor containing T helper cells. So now you can clearly see in this diagram the difference between class 1 and class 2 MHC molecule. So class 1 MHC molecule alpha chain, you can clearly see alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, a transmembrane structure, and beta 2 microglobulin which is attached to alpha chain, non-transmembrane structure beta 2 microglobulin. So that beta 2 microglobulin is absent in class 2 MHC molecule. Class 2 MHC molecule contains alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha chain and beta 1, beta 2, beta chain. Both are transmembrane segments, and you can clearly see the peptide binding cleft that is present between alpha 1 and alpha 2 loops in MHC class 1 and alpha 1 and beta 1 loop between MHC class 2, and both the structures are stabilized with the help of intra disulfide bonding. So that is class 1 and class 2 MHC molecule differences. So you can clearly see the pathways, how the entered antigens are processed and presented by class 1 and class 2 MHC molecule. You can clearly see class 1 MHC molecule, it will process endogenous antigens by cytosolic pathway. So endogenous antigens that entered into the cell like microbial proteins, they enter into the endoplasmic reticulum. In endoplasmic reticulum, the class 1 molecules will be ready, and the peptides that are processed in the cytosol will attach to the class 1 MHC molecule that is present in the endoplasmic reticulum. From endoplasmic reticulum, it will enter the Golgi complex. From Golgi complex, it is transported onto the plasma membrane. So you can clearly see where it is presented to CD8 receptor containing cytotoxic cell. So microbial endogenous antigen by cytosolic pathway, the MSC class 1 will process the antigen and present to CD8 receptor containing C cytotoxic cell. Whereas the class 2 MSC molecule, they will process the exogenous antigen by endocytic pathway. So exogenous antigen means the antigen that is engulfed by the process of phagocytosis. So class 2 MSC molecule are present on the antigen presenting cells. Antigen presenting cells will engulf the foreign particles by phagocytosis. After engulfing the exogenous antigen by endocytic pathway, they will process the antigen. So remember, both class 1 and class 2 MSC molecule, they are synthesized and they will be ready in the endoplasmic reticulum. Whenever these peptidic antigens will bind to them, they will detach from endoplasmic reticulum and they are transported onto transmembrane region where they will process and present the antigen to T cells. So in class 2 MSC molecule, the engulfed exogenous antigen is processed by endogenous pathway where you can clearly see the peptides and the class 2 MSC molecule coming out of the endoplasmic reticulum, and the vesicle which contains the processed peptides will bind with the class 2 MSC molecule of endoplasmic reticulum where it is presented on the transmembrane region and present the antigen to CD4 receptor containing T helper cells. So you can clearly see the difference. The peptides in class 1 MSC, they are processed in AR. The MSC class 1 bound to the processed peptides and then it is transported to transmembrane region. But in class 2 MSC molecule, the peptides are processed outside the ER and the MSC molecule is combining with the processed peptides outside the ER. So in MSC class 1 it is inside the ER, in MSC class 2 it is outside the ER. After that they are transported into transmembrane region where they will present the antigens to T cytotoxic cells in case of class 1 MSC and T helper cells in case of class 2 MSC molecules. So now we can see clearly the pathway of class 1 MSC molecule, endogenous antigens by cytosolic pathway. So you can clearly see endogenous antigens means viral particles, they will enter the cell easily without engulfing. So all nucleated cells, they contain class 1 MSC molecule, they can process the entered endogenous viral particles. Now the viral proteins are degraded into, first they will be ubiquinolated. So in the previous classes I have told, so any protein that is polyubiquinolated, it will be degraded in 26S proteasome. Here the same thing will happen. So the antigenic protein will be polyubiquinolated, then you can see it enters the proteasome, then it is converted into peptides. On the endoplasmic reticulum, TAP proteins are present and tapacin, these are chaperones, molecular chaperones, and transporter associated proteins. So with the help of tapacin and transporter associated protein, the peptides will enter into the endoplasmic reticulum. In endoplasmic reticulum, the tapacin will make the class 1 MSC molecule ready for binding with the antigenic peptide that entered into endoplasmic reticulum. So tapacin is a chaperone that play an important role in assembly of class 1 MSC molecule and also the antigenic peptide, from where the class 1 MSC molecule with antigenic peptide will enter the Golgi complex. From there, as a vesicle, it will be transported onto transmembrane region. So MSC class 1 now contains the process antigenic peptide where it will present to CD8 receptor containing the cytotoxic cells. This is how the endogenous antigens are processed by cytosolic pathway by class 1 MHC molecule. So this is class 2 MHC molecule where it is present on the antigen presenting cells. So antigen presenting cells, when they engulf the exogenous antigen, immediately they will combine with lysosomes. So in lysosomes, the antigen proteins are degraded into peptides. Their proteasome is used in class 1 MSC. Here lysosomes will degrade the antigenic peptides. Now in the meanwhile, in the endoplasmic reticulum, you can clearly see the assembly of class 2 MSC molecule, and also the class 2 MSC molecule contain an invariant chain. So you can see a pin-like structure on the surface of the class 2 MSC molecule, that is called as invariant chain. So in the meanwhile, the Golgi complex will prepare the class 2 MHC molecule ready for binding with the processed antigenic peptide. So the Golgi complex after MHC class 1 binds with the invariant chain, it enters the Golgi complex, and from Golgi complex it is combining as a vesicle to the endolysosome, which contains the antigenic peptides. You can clearly see the antigenic peptides will first bound to HLA-DM. It is a non-classical MHC class 2 molecule, and then from HLA-DM it will bind to the class 2 MHC molecule. So here the invariant chain will be removed and the antigenic peptide will be bound on the surface of class 2 MHC molecule. From there, as a vesicle, the MHC class 2 molecule with antigenic peptide will be transported onto transmembrane region, where it will present the antigenic peptide to CD4 receptor containing T cytotoxic cells. This is how the exogenous antigens which are engulfed are processed by endocytic pathway by class 2 MHC molecule and present to T helper cells. So this is just a difference between class 1 and class 2 MHC molecule. So all nucleated cells contain class 1 MHC molecule. Only antigen presenting cells, they contain class 2 MHC molecule. So class 1 MHC molecule, they present antigen to CD8 receptor containing T cells, that is T cytotoxic cells. Class 2 MHC molecules, they will present antigen to CD4 receptor containing T helper cells. Class 1 MHC molecules, they will process endogenous or intracellular antigens by cytosolic pathway, whereas class 2 MHC molecule, they will engulf exogenous antigens, and by processing exogenous antigen by endocytic pathway, they will present the antigens to T helper cells. So the general size of bound antigens will be about 8 to 10 amino acid sequence. It is, whereas it is 13 to 18 amino acid sequence containing peptides in case of class 2 MHC molecule. Peptide binding site, as I mentioned, alpha and alpha 2 in class 1 MHC molecule. It is between alpha and beta 2 microglobulin in class 2 MHC molecule. Sorry, alpha 1 and beta chain in class 2 MHC molecule. And CD4 and CD8 binding site. CD4 and CD8 binding site will be alpha 3 to CD8 on T cytotoxic cells, and beta 2 binds to CD4 on T helper cell molecules. Antigen presentation, it is by cytosolic pathway by class 1 MHC molecule, and it is by endocytic pathway by class 2 MHC molecule. So these are the major differences between class 1 and class 2 MHC molecule. So you can clearly see the HLA complex, they are present, as I mentioned, on chromosome number 6 in humans. They are present in the form of alleles. So you can see the different alleles of HLA complex, human leukocyte antigen complex, HLA B27, DR2, DR3, DR3 and DR4, DR4 and A3 and B14. So all these alleles play an important role with some associated diseases like HLA B27, like ankylosing spondylitis, reactive arthritis, and Rett syndrome. DR2 allele is associated with multiple sclerosis, Goodpasture syndrome. DR3 like myasthenia gravis and systemic lupus erythematosus. D3 and D4 insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. DR4 again by associated to rheumatoid arthritis, and B14A3 hereditary hemochromatosis. So HLA complex is present on the in the form of alleles which are shown here. If a particular person is going for transplantation, HLA typing is done to match the MHC molecules which are present on the surface of the donor as well as recipient cell membranes. So these kind of alleles are used for HLA typing of both recipient and donor. If the alleles are matching, the sequence of alleles are matching or closely matching, then they will go for the process of transplantation. So HLA typing is an important process in the transplantation technology. So HLA typing. In this test, donors' antigens expressed on the surface of leukocytes or their genes are matched with that of recipient. So same thing I have mentioned. So the HLA, MHC complexes and HLA alleles both are sequenced and found to be matched, then only the transplantation will take place. The closer the HLA antigens on the transplanted organ, the match the recipient, the more likely that the recipient body will not reject the transplant. If the HLA typing is close, that means similar, then organ that is transplanted will not be rejected by the recipient. Value of HLA matching between donor and recipient varies in different solid organ transplantation. In kidney transplant, these are substantial benefit. In all polymorphic HLA alleles are matched. So HLA matching play an important role in kidney transplantation. If the HLA alleles, all of them are matched between donor and recipient, then it will be easy for them for the transplantation of kidneys. So the major methods that are used and which are accurate for HLA typing are molecular methods. Some serological methods are also used, but molecular methods will give accurate results for the process of transplantation. So after the invention of Sutherland blotting and also restricted fragment length polymorphisms, it became easy for HLA typing between donor and recipient. So the alleles of HLA, DR, DRQ and DW are easily typed with the help of molecular techniques after the invention of the Sutherland blotting and also PCR. So PCR and Sutherland blotting made easy for the process of HLA typing in organ transplantation. So you can clearly see the different methods of HLA typing. The first method you can clearly see serological method. So serological method, in this method, serological testing expressed HLA antigens on the surface of lymphocytes by monoclonal antibodies. So there will be a use of monoclonal antibodies, and these antibodies they will use in both patient, that means recipient as well as donor, but this will not give an accurate result for the process of transplantation. So before the invention of the Sutherland blotting and PCR, this method is used, and this method does not provide direct information about the sequence variation in the alleles. So you cannot find the difference in the alleles of the HLA using this serological method, since you are using just monoclonal antibodies. So the next method is PCR RFLP, restriction fragment length polymorphisms. So PCR RFLP of alleles of HLA complex. So PCR amplified DNA digest with restriction enzymes to generate specific restriction patterns, and alleles are identified according to the pattern. So these HLA alleles are amplified after treating with restriction enzymes. So that's why the technique restriction fragment length polymorphism. So the alleles of HLA are treated with restriction enzymes, then the polymorphisms are compared between the recipient and donor. So another disadvantages with this PCR RFLP is lacks accuracy in precise alleles, especially DR4 halotypes. So there is a problem with DR4 alleles. So that is the major disadvantage of PCR RFLP. So the other method is PCR SSO, specific probes, sequence specific probes. So you use sequence specific probes to HLA alleles and compare between donor and recipient. So this is also called as most specific technique. But the major disadvantage is sequence of the alleles should be known. So all the sequences of the alleles for the construction of the probes should be known. Otherwise, this sequence specific probes construction, if it is difficult, you cannot perform this experiment. So that is the disadvantage of HLA typing using PCR sequence specific probes. The other one is sequence specific primers. So PCR amplification using sequence specific primers, that means use of HLA allelic sequences, primers against these HLA allelic sequences, you can amplify by PCR. But there is a problem with DB1806 allele. If there is a problem with single kind of allele also, then the transplant will be rejected. So all the alleles should be properly typed between donor and recipient for successful organ transplantation. So the right method is PCR SBT, sequence based tagging. So in sequence based tagging, DNA amplified by PCR using specific primers for the site of interest. So whatever site you need, so that means, for example, if you are finding this allele is particularly involved in this specific organ, like for example DB1806 is involved in the kidney transplantation, you can specifically amplify that region only using this PCR SBT, sequence based tagging. So this is highly expensive experiment, but it will give the accurate results. So PCR SBT is the widely accepted and reliable method of HLA typing. Once it will be done, then you can easily transplant the organ from donor to recipient. So this is how we use the molecular method for the process of HLA typing. So that means alleles of HLA and transplant the organ from donor to recipient. So that is class 1, class 2 MSc molecule, the processing and presentation of antigen, and also HLA typing, molecular methods of HLA typing that are involved in the organ transplantation. So thank you for patiently listening the topic.